Thank you. Shalom. First, I must apologize because I was originally scheduled to be here in Israel 3 or 4 years ago for the first Juice Plus event. And even though the company is in Memphis and we have a house in Memphis, we actually live in the Colorado mountains near Aspen. And at that time, 3 or 4 years ago, we got snowed in and I could not get out. I was so embarrassed. And I promised that I would come back, so I want to thank the management of Juice Plus Israel for giving me this opportunity to come back and see you this evening. Now, normally I speak about the product, but tonight my job is to tell you something about the company and its culture. But before I do, I have to say a little bit about Juice Plus. First of all, for you, all of you here tonight, congratulations for being here, because your presence here is a sign that your desire for better health and you are concerned about a better health for you and for your family. So congratulations to you for being here. We all know now, the world knows, that there is a connection between diet and health. Sadly, last Sunday, 1 week ago today, a close friend of Jay Martin and myself in Memphis passed away. His service is today. And we have been friends for 30 years. But this guy has a very bad diet. Coca-Cola, potato chips, and Snickers candy bar. And all of us tried to get him to take Juice Plus for years. And his own doctor said, there's no connection between diet and health, or diet and disease. And now, sadly, they're going to bury him tomorrow. And, you know, it breaks your heart because you know it wasn't necessary, because he's been struggling with his health for a long time. But some people just don't get it. The big thing is that the modern diet has changed, and that fruits and vegetables, which we've been talking about tonight, have been displaced by packaged and processed food. The good carbs from fruits and vegetables have been displaced, so that today, in all of the modernized world, we don't eat enough of the good and we eat too much of the bad. So Juice Plus, one of our big fans in America is Dr. Loren Cordain. He is a PhD from the University Colorado State, and he has written several books on the hunter-gatherer diet, what our forefathers ate thousands of years ago on this earth. And they grew up eating the fruits and vegetables that were available, and occasionally lean meat if they could get it. In fact, one of the leading causes of death 100,000 years ago was what is called predation, death by predator. Anyway, Dr. Cordain says his research tells us that 56% of the calories that we eat today did not exist when our forefathers were walking the earth. And that's refined sugar, which Mitra talked about, bleached flour, and vegetable oils. And the problem is that as a species, you know, we evolved on the plants that Mitra was talking about, and we are not capable of evolving fast enough, maybe 1 million years from now. If humans are still on the earth, maybe the body will work just fine on salt, sugar, and fat. But we do not evolve that fast, and the diet has changed more quickly than our ability to adjust to it. So this is the challenge, and the whole world agrees, whether it's the World Health Organization or the National Cancer Institute, National Institute of Health in America, on the importance of fruits and vegetables in the daily diet. And for those of you who are guests tonight, understand that our company recommends the same thing. You heard Mitra talk so much about diet tonight, good diet. We're not just about supplementation. The problem is that regardless of how much good advice the world gets, the pressures on the other side are immense. And so people are not acting upon this advice. And why is it important? Well, Mitra talked about certain nutrients and polyphenols. There are thousands of different nutrients in the fruits and vegetables we eat. And they cannot be replaced by a few vitamins. And not only are they important in the small amounts that we get from fruits and vegetables, but they are important because they work together to be absorbed. This is what the body is looking for in terms of food. So they need each other in order to be absorbed and to do the good work. And the majority of the population in America and other westernized countries, they take supplements regularly. The new information in America is now 71% of people take supplements daily. Now, if someone has a deficiency, maybe a deficiency in omega-3s or a deficiency in vitamin D, by all means, take a supplement. But for your basic general health, isolated, fragmented supplements, synthesized nutrients, are not the answer. The research is mixed. In fact, I sit on the board of the Council for Responsible Nutrition in Washington, D.C. I was the chairman of the board in 2013 and 14. Much of the work that that board is doing is defending the vitamin industry against negative publicity for research that has been done on vitamins and minerals in the last decade. And we also know large doses can be harmful. Is there anyone else in the room that has ever had too much alcohol? Huh? You don't have to raise your hand. What happens? The next day, we have to go, and we're dehydrated. Why? Because the body senses that it's out of balance. It takes its water, it dilutes the alcohol, and it flushes that out of your system. The same thing happens when you take nutrients that are completely out of balance. They will not be absorbed. The body's going to defend you. It's going to take its water, flush it out. So even if these nutrients, and many of them are very valuable, but in excess amounts, the body's just going to flush it away anyway. So this was the concept of Juice Plus from the beginning. All of this whole food nutrition, the thousands of phytonutrients in fruits, vegetables, berries, and grapes in nature's balance. We actually do not juice the product. We grind it. The product starts very cold and it goes into a closed stainless steel system. And we use shear pumps to grind, a series of shear pumps to grind the particles to a smaller and smaller particle size, including the fibers that Mitra talked about. So important. So the only thing that's gone at the end is the water. Everything else is still there and still in nature's balance. And this is the philosophy and the theory of the Juice Plus product line. And basically, it's not a replacement for fruits and vegetables, but it bridges the gap between what we know we should do on a daily basis and what we're actually able to do. It bridges the gap. And we know from years of research now in the Juice Plus Children's Health Study, where if a parent will take the product, we give it to the child for free, and the parent gives us a survey back on how the family is doing, we know that this product changes behavior. And the family starts to eat healthier, more water, less soda, eat more fruits and vegetables, less fast food, miss fewer days of school and work, take fewer over-the-counter medications and drugs. Because these things, well, when you see with the research, you've seen this slide before. We can move ahead. Oh, I'm going to tell you how it's made first, and then we'll get back to the research. So, Juice Plus is a huge business now, and we go all over the world to find the best produce, and oftentimes that's only certain places in the world where the produce grows best. For example, cranberries and berries, they grow in northern, colder climates, seasonal. All right, so how do we do that? The farms are all over the world. We deal with people who have the capability to allow the produce to mature and ripen, immediately wash it, clean it, and freeze it. It's called instant quick frozen. It's the fastest way to preserve nutrition that is known to man. In fact, unless your berries, for example, in your market, come directly from the local area, the frozen berries in the market are actually better because of this same process. They were allowed to ripen and immediately washed and frozen, and not picked green and mature on the way to your kitchen table. So they go cold, and they're held in cold storage. They go to the juicing plant, where we do our proprietary process. Then they go through a drying process. Now, in the beginning, when we created Juice Plus, the biggest issue was to dry at low temperature, so we weren't damaging the nutrients. This was very important. And in the beginning, it took almost 24 hours. And what we discovered was that time did just as much damage as heat. So over the years, we developed our own proprietary process, and now the juice is dried into powders not only at low temperature, but within seconds. We changed the technology, and we own the technology, so it's our own proprietary process. Thank you. Once the powders are dry, they go into cold storage, and they are then transported when they're needed to our manufacturing partners who do the blending and the encapsulation and the bottling and the packaging. So there it is, kind of in a nutshell, but it involves a lot of cold and a lot of preservation. Here is one of our key people in America. That's Lisa Peppel. She's director of product development. She's out in the field. These are some pictures of some of our operations. Because of our size and our reputation and our history, we deal with only reliable, proven growers. We deal with the best growers in the world. And we go from farms, fields, and orchards worldwide. This will give you a little idea as to where the produce comes from. These are the fruits, and you can kind of guess from the colors. Look down in Florida, in the United States, that's where we get our oranges. Okay? And pineapple from Hawaii, out in the Pacific Ocean there. All right? This is where the vegetables come. Most of the vegetables are grown on, specifically for us, on 1,000 organic acres in the upper Midwest of America. The kale, the broccoli. We started to use so much kale that we were worried that we would run out of supply. So we contracted for people to grow our own kale. And these are where the berries come from, and you can see that some come from this part of the world. We keep it fresh. We actually put into the plant around the world where the juicing is done, we purchased and installed freezers for the produce so that we keep it absolutely cold until the time the processing begins. And this gives you an idea of the instant quick frozen cranberries. If you look closely at the picture, you can see little chips of ice. We only thaw the produce to about 34 degrees before we start the grinding process. And then these are the proprietary drying process. And in the end, this is what we give to you: a clean product with no herbicides and pesticides, no irradiation, no banned substances, no heavy metals, no preservatives, gluten-free, and no GMO. That's our commitment to you. And as I mentioned, the proprietary process is state-of-the-art. It took us years to develop. It's science and art together. And we're always looking for improvements. And someday we will probably make it slightly different, but we'll still have the great product at the end. Plus, we're backed by independent certifications. It is kosher certified, including very high-level kosher certificate. We maintain NSF, that is a testing service in North America, including NSF for sport, and we have a European testing service for Cinia. So we have third parties that come in and duplicate the same tests that we do on the product to assure our customers that it's not just us saying that we're testing for these things, but we're paying someone else to do it. And it's very rare to go into a grocery store or a drugstore or a vitamin shop and find products with these labels on them because it costs money. And most vitamin mineral products compete on price. So, you heard also about the research from Mitra. We are the most thoroughly researched name brand product in the world. I know from my experience in Washington, D.C., I know all of the people in America in this business. No one has anywhere near the independent, peer-reviewed clinical research that Juice Plus has. And one of the reasons is, if you think about it, most vitamin mineral companies, they have a vitamin C and a D and an E and a beta-carotene. They have hundreds of products. We have invested almost $20 million in Juice Plus research. Imagine if they had to invest that kind of money for every product that they have. They'd be out of business. It's too expensive. They can't afford to. So part of our advantage is we have a narrow product line that's based on whole food, which allows us to have this research. And these scientific journals are the best in the nutrition industry and related fields where we've studied. Now, stay right there. On the research, you have heard today many great testimonials and wonderful stories. And we allow that because the research supports how that could happen. When the people are standing up here and they're telling their individual stories, and you say, well, how could that happen? Well, if your immune system is stronger, if your DNA is protected, if your oxidative stress is reduced, if your chronic inflammation that Mitra was talking about is reduced, if your teeth and gums are stronger, if your skin is better, good things are going to happen. Because we know that these things happen to everyone who takes Juice Plus at a cellular level. These healthy biomarkers happen for everyone. What they result in terms of your specific benefit, is up to you. It depends on what your body needs. Now, this is really important. Did Juice Plus create all of those results in the research? No, not really. The body created the results. The human cells and the microbiome. Think about if you had a Ferrari, a car, and you put garbage in the gas tank. What would happen? You would ruin the engine and it wouldn't run. The same thing has happened with the modern diet. We have put so much bad fuel into this beautiful system that it's not working correctly. So what Juice Plus is doing is just correcting that. It is putting in the nutrition and the fuel that the body needs to do what it's designed to do, to keep us healthy and to operate better. So that's why we can allow the testimonials, because we have the research to show what is happening at a cellular level inside the body. And because of that, Juice Plus has become the highest selling name brand product in a capsule in the world. And a product with more than 23 years of unparalleled track record of safety and efficacy. Yes. So even if I'm asked to come here and talk about the company, I can't help myself. I have to say a little something about the product. So here we are. This is the world headquarters in Memphis, Tennessee. We also have offices all over Europe, Basel, Copenhagen, of course here in Tel Aviv. The company's been around for a long time, and it's been very successful, and it's built to last. And this is our president and founder. Actually, he's the chairman of the board now, Jay Martin. And this is a statement that comes from someone asking Jay why he comes to work every day. Spontaneous. This was off the top of his head on a really difficult time in the company at a tough meeting. And one of the national marketing directors asked Jay, "Why are you still doing this?" And this was his answer from his heart. And the beautiful thing about it is that it's about you. It's about all of us, helping all of us realize our dreams with a stable and lasting company. This is our mission. Our mission is to inspire healthy living around the world. And this is our president, Paulo Teixeira. And the reason that we have a mission statement in addition to a vision statement is that the mission statement helps guide decisions about new products. Is this a product that will inspire healthy living? Is this a product that fits our business model? And these are our products, and I don't know what the status is on a tower garden, that those things on the right there, as far as Israel. But basically, this is a hydroponic, aeroponic growing system that takes advantage of 10% of the water that you normally take to grow vegetables in the ground, and 10% of the space. So it's the future of growing. And this is not a big product line in the US, maybe 5%. But in part, it shows our customers and the world that we really are concerned about nutrition, not just supplementation. We are concerned about whole food and food of the future. And I'm sure someday this product in some form will be here. But no rush on that. Lots of room to grow. Testing. Okay. So, how are we going to continue to be the company that we've been for 46 years and continue to succeed? The best answer is culture. Culture is the boss when the boss is not around. Culture is something that it's in all of our hearts that helps us do the right thing on our own without being told. And Dan Holtzman is here, the CEO of Europe. Dan and I have been part of a group of senior managers over the last 3 or 4 years who meet every single quarter to talk about the future of the company and plan. And every strategy session starts with reminding ourselves of our culture. And we develop these core beliefs because the beliefs support the culture. The companies survive because of culture. And we also have succession planning as an ongoing business. I've been working on my succession plan for several years. And, someday Dan will be working on his. But really, it's our goal to preserve this opportunity, not just for our children, but for their children. We want the Juice Plus company to be here for 100 years. So everything we do is with that thought in mind. Thank you. All right. So we've developed these core beliefs, and I'm going to quickly share them with you because we want them to be public. We want them not only to be our values, but to be your values because we are in this together as a family. And we want them to be written, simply stated, authentic, emotional. This is done by human beings for human beings. It's not just marketing. And we want to have just a few because each one then has more impact, and we always lead with our mission. And that's to inspire healthy living around the world. And it's a company-wide calling. It's something we all share. So, first of all, we believe in longevity. The company's been there since 1970, and it's important that we be good stewards of this ship for the well-being of our customers, our reps, our employees, and our partners. And part of the secret to that is that we are privately held. We do not have to answer to shareholders. We are the shareholders. And when you're public, sometimes you are forced to do things in the short run to make the results look good this quarter or this year, which is really not in the best interest of the company long term. And that's why we're not public. We're private because we can choose to make decisions that are best for all of us for years to come that are not necessarily the best thing this month or this quarter. We believe in authenticity. Our DNA is to, say what we do and do what we say. Jay has an old expression that we like to under-promise and over-deliver. We believe in quality, and I think you've heard a lot about that today. We strive to deliver not only premium and sustainable products and services, but in everything we do. And remember, our families take Juice Plus too. Christmas Eve in America, I will have 60 people at our house in Colorado. Every single one of them, and most of them are family. Every single one of them has been on Juice Plus from the first age they were able to take the product. All the mothers were pregnant on Juice Plus, and it is a big, happy, healthy family. We believe in community. We talk about ourselves as the Juice Plus family, but healthy living takes more than a healthy body. It takes a community of like-minded friends with a common purpose. And we call this the Juice Plus family. And in addition, part of that is to help others who are in need. So we also try to inspire healthy giving around the world. And these are just a few examples of the charities that we help on a consistent basis. And I know that most of this is based around Memphis and the U.S. And our global partners have made us more aware of this. And as we become more of a global company, this aspect of our business will become more global. And we will do projects going forward that help people all over the world. And you're going to be a part of that. We're committed to 10 million meals with the Complete, both in the U.S. and in Europe, over the next 5 years. 10 million free meals to people in need. We believe in being approachable. That's why we're sharing these corporate beliefs. That's why Dan is here in person. That's why I really am thanking you for inviting me, because we love to come here and mingle and meet you and become friends. For years, I insisted that all of our manufacturing partners would come to a conference like this, or the bigger conferences in the US, because I wanted them to see all of you in action. I wanted them to feel the passion and the sense of mission, because then they become part of the mission. And when they go back to their homes and their jobs at the factories that help us, they do a better job because they believe in what we're doing. They believe they're part of the Juice Plus family. And I've always thought that it made a difference in the quality of the work that they did. And that's why these relationships, that's why they were included when we said customers, reps, employees, and partners, because we care about them too. Now, we thought a lot about using transparency here. It's a very popular word. The only reason we didn't is that we wanted to be authentic. And there's a couple of things we don't share. We don't share the formula. We don't share the proprietary drying process. So since we do have a couple of secrets, we didn't think it was fair to use the word transparency. But in most other respects, we are very transparent. And we invite people to come to our plants. We invite people to come to the office and meet. And finally, we believe in simplicity, and we believe in having fun. And I hope that you're having fun here in Juice Plus Israel. So what does the future hold? Well, the same societal factors that created the need for Juice Plus are getting stronger, not weaker. How about the pace and stress of modern life? Oh my goodness. It just in the last decade, our world has changed. And it creates tremendous stress. I don't have to tell all of you who live in a very interesting part of the world. You know, there is tremendous stress, and it's not going away. The growth of packaged and processed foods. Do you think there's going to be more fast food places or less? More. They're coming. These food giants need to make profit. The cost of affordable health care is going to increase. So the need to manage our own care is greater than ever, and it will continue to grow. So the demand for Juice Plus products will continue to increase. So, how do we stay ahead? Well, this global team that I mentioned, which Dan is a big part of, has been working on a whole new management structure, a process where it's not the product department, the sales department, the marketing department. It's cross departments, and they are working all together on issues. One of those issues is merging direct sales with e-commerce, because the internet is here to stay. Social media is here to stay. And it may not be huge in Israel today, but it's coming. You know, it's growing. Also, the product development process. It's not just the product team anymore, but it's product, marketing, sales, and information technology, all working together on these streams. We're focusing very much on the franchise partner journey and making that a greater and more enjoyable and fulfilling experience. And we're also working on the customer experience, because I think we can do a much more in that area to make our customers feel really appreciated and like they're part of the family, even though they're just taking our products. We have a lot we can do in this area. So, my final words to you tonight are, that the future is bright and the best is yet to come. Thank you very much.